Hello Internet, Big Dave here, and I would like to welcome you to the pilot episode of ReVisited. ReVisited is going to be a show where I go back and I take a second look at my first impressions videos for anything previously featured on the channel. We're going to start the series out by taking a look at one of the first games that I made a video for. That would be Monday Night Combat. There are two reasons that I'm choosing to take a look at Monday Night Combat, and let me tell you about the first one first. Well, number one, Monday Night Combat was actually the game that helped spark the idea for Big Dave is Cheap. I purchased Monday Night Combat for 75% off, that's $3.75 for a $15 game, during a Father's Day sale on Steam. And I enjoyed the game so much I started digging deeper for better and better gaming deals, and I realized that if you watched sales, and you also took a look at indie games, you could find a lot of great games for under $5. And thus the idea for Big Dave is Cheap was born. The second reason is this. Yes, Super Monday Night Combat. Super Monday Night Combat is going to be a free-to-play, third-person Dota-style game from what the trailer seems to indicate. If you don't know what a Dota-style game is, Dota stands for the Defense of the Ancients. It was a Warcraft 3 mod. And yeah, it's too complex for me to really explain, but that mod spawned current games like League of Legends and Heroes of New Earth, and of course Dota 2 is launching to much fanfare in the not-too-distant future. So this will be a third-person take on that. It'll involve more character classes because Dota-style games are all about unique character classes, and it looks really, really promising, as you can see from the preview that's running on your screen right now. Alright guys, without any further ado, let's get into this. Let's do the revisit. We're going to look at two things in this video because I looked at two things in the original video. We're going to look at single player and we're going to look at multiplayer. Let's see if things have changed. Has my opinion changed? Has my outlook changed? Am I still playing this game at all? I'll tell you all that and more as we revisit Monday Night Combat. Okay, let's get things rolling with the single player. Single player in this game from the get-go is fairly limited. There is a co-op aspect to it which might be nice to try out, but in the end, single player is nothing but a survival type mode. You have various modes to choose from, increasing difficulties, and you just try to survive as long as you can or survive till the end of the enumerated waves. So one is 10 waves, one is 20 waves, one is 30 waves, etc. It gets increasingly more difficult, more things spawn from more directions, there's more to manage. In the end, the single player doesn't offer a whole lot. I do occasionally pop in and just do, 10 or 15 minutes on the single player because you do actually get points and money and stuff from the single player. The money is really only useful for buying these sort of tags that you can put on your name. So when you kill somebody, you have a particular tag that will show up as your identifier. You can also win those tags through the little mini achievements within the actual game itself. So single player, not a lot has changed about my opinion of single player. It hasn't gotten any better. It hasn't gotten any worse. The single player is what it is. It was limited from the beginning. The potential of it is limited by the design of the game at this point. And yeah, other than trying it in co-op, that's about it. I haven't done that yet. That's something I'd love to do. So yeah, the basic draw of single player is the self-challenge. Putting it on the sudden death blitz, how many waves can I survive, how much can I, how much damage can I do, how much money can I get, that sort of thing. Beat your own personal best. That's pretty much what single player is good for. So play single player a couple of times to learn how the game works, how the mechanics function, and then you need to get your butt over to multiplayer because that is where this game shines. So when it comes to revisiting the multiplayer aspects of Monday Night Combat, there are a few things I want to address. The first is the screenshot that I'm putting on the screen right now. You will see that there are 17 people playing. Those are the servers sorted by player numbers. 17 people playing. This is roughly the same time that I made the original video. It's the same day of the week. It's roughly the same hour. It is about 2:15 in the AM. And there are 17 people playing. There were a few dozen people playing the first time around. Now there are 17 people playing. The thing about those 17 people, they're all very good. And that brings me to my other point. about multiplayer. Yes, the population is low, but the population that's there are all very skilled. They're hardcore players. Many of them seem to know each other. They're all very, very good at the game, very efficient at the mechanics of the game, and they kick my ass. I'm no slouch at this game. I mean, I put in several hours when I first got it, and I got decent at it, but these guys are far and away better than I am. So it is a small community of highly skilled people who are left playing this game right now. That makes multiplayer a little iffy. Now, luckily enough, I did manage to get on a good team, and you're seeing some footage here of some decent gameplay. So, and also this footage came from about an hour into my multiplayer sessions. So my skills returned, and yeah, I found a few people who I could farm for some kills, basically. But in the end, yeah, there is a bit of a learning curve. The population that's in the game right now is small and highly skilled, and that's always going to happen in multiplayer games that are not huge. When you're not doing anything to generate new foot traffic into your game, a new player base, you end up with only your top echelon of players who hang around to continue to play. So one way that the game's creators, Uber Entertainment, could fix this imbalance, or at least help it, is to capitalize on the successful announcement of Super Monday Night Combat and put Monday Night Combat on sale. The Super Monday Night Combat trailer has been making the rounds on websites and YouTube shows. People are intrigued about this game, and if you give them the opportunity to come into Monday Night Combat and learn about your game universe, your game mechanics, how things work, and a little bit of what they can expect in your free-to-play Super Monday Night Combat, you already have that base of customers that you're going to need. You're going to need them buying those skins and unlocking those extra heroes or whatever they're going to do microtransaction-wise to make this game profitable. You know, this is your moment, and it's fleeting. You need to get your game out there in front of people because you've intrigued them with the Super Monday Night Combat trailer. Just do it. Okay, I'm not a marketing genius here, but this seems obvious to me. So okay, I went off on a little bit of a tangent there. Let's get back on the point. Let's get back to revisiting Monday Night Combat. Now again, the multiplayer, there is a bit of an imbalance. You do get some frustration when you're getting into the multiplayer because so many of the existing community are so very skilled. The multiplayer is still as fun as it ever was. It's chaotic, it's interesting, it's innovative, it's just, I mean, it's just a blast. I really, really like the multiplayer here. I like the aspects of multiplayer that are there. The bots are constantly coming in waves. Then you've got players to deal with. You've got turrets to build. You've got bonuses that spawn in. For instance, Chicky Cantor, who spawns in, who is an NPC character that you can basically shoot and get money from. There are other mascots that spawn in that will drop money. You know, these things attract players. Then there are battles that happen around these mascots. Games can get very unbalanced if teams are not well balanced, but other than that, the multiplayer is fantastic. It's better than it ever was before because I've had some time to get a little better at it. Even though the community has stepped up a couple notches, my skill has also kind of stepped up a notch. Let's say half a notch. We'll say half a notch. So it's more fun than it was before. I better understand the classes. I better understand when to buy what upgrade on the classes that I'm playing, and I've got a couple of favorite classes, and all in all, I mean, I'm having a great time when I do play the game. And that's the other thing I want to talk about. How frequently do I play this game? How much have I continued to play this game since the video? Well, in truth, not a whole lot. This isn't really something I can lie about because, or fudge, because you can always look at my stats on Steam for a Steam game like this. So yeah, I've not played it a lot. Every now and then I pop into it for 10 minutes of fun. I do a game here and there, but in truth, it doesn't have the highest level of replayability once you wear the new out of it, so to speak, and I've long since worn the new out of it. So yeah, am I still playing Monday Night Combat? Not really. Very infrequently. So let's go ahead and wrap up this revisit by talking about some of the things that we've discussed in the video, kind of recounting what we've talked about. Single player, well, nothing has really changed. Single player is what it was. It is a limited but entertaining game mode. play it a little bit to learn how the game works, practice your mechanics if you're trying a class that you've never played before, but otherwise, it's a little bit of a throwaway. The endurance mode in there, Super Blitz, Playoff, Ultra mode, or whatever it's called, that is a fun time for, 10 minutes. Other than that, So in revisiting multiplayer, we talked about the fact that the population seems to have dwindled a little bit, at least in off hours. I'm not going to pretend that I can speak to what the population of this game looks like during peak hours, but in the times that I'm able to play the game, I have noticed a significant drop-off in population. So even though the player base is smaller, and the people who are left are more skilled, I still had an absolute blast playing the game. Nothing has changed from that perspective. It's as entertaining as it ever was. So the final part of the revisits. In the original video, I rated Monday Night Combat $5 out of 5. It's now been over a month. I've played the game sporadically, though for this revisit, I dedicated myself to a couple of hours of solid and good gameplay. Based on that, would I change my rating of $5 out of 5, meaning that I would gladly pay full price for Monday Night Combat? Well, no, I would not change my rating. I would still pay $15 for Monday Night Combat because the sum total of the enjoyment that I've gotten out of this game has definitely been worth that price. I am ecstatic that I was able to find the game for $3.75, but yeah, I would pay more than that. So guys, this has been the first revisit. This was a little ranty, it was a little spacey. I didn't really stick on to the points that I wanted to stick on maybe. I hope future revisits can be a little more concise and maybe a little more to the point. A little disappointed by how this went, but I'm going to tweak this format. I'm going to keep moving forward, making more episodes of Revisited, and eventually we're going to find the sweet spot for this show. Okay guys, that's going to do it for the pilot episode of Revisited. Of course, I have been Big Dave as always, and until next time, take it easy.
Good offense, good defense, and a good artificial supplement strategy. Boy, everything was clever. Well, that's it for us, folks. Hey, thanks for joining us. We'd like to remind you that unless you're watching this from home, you have 15 minutes to get back to your assigned dwelling before government-mandated curfews are in effect. Good night, everybody.